yesterday invited Jesus into my heart, which is a female Jesus, more scantily clad than a regular Jesus.
Lucien Greaves is not even his name. His real name is Doug Mesner. He is a fake to the extreme. Anybody that reads his page knows this. He's admitted he's not a Satanist.
So now we have Satanists saying other people aren't really Satanists.
He's not spiritual on any level, and yet he claims he's doing positive things for the satanic community.
Satan with the goat head, a pentagram in the background surrounded by adoring children. It is hilarious and scary, and also part of an elaborate trolling enterprise by an organization called the Satanic Temple, which has emerged as a weird, bizarro world religious freedom gadfly.
Rachel Maddow
Everything
reporting.
he's doing is a publicity stunt for a movie he's making called the Satanic Temple.
So what he's trying to do is piss people off, so to speak?
Let me tell you, Satanists aren't going to get many followers with women that ugly.
The satanic community. We all despise them.
Okay,
Jabba
are
the
you a
Hutt's
Satanist
daughter?
yourself?
Yes, I am.
And so basically what you're saying, he's not a real Satanist.
He's not a Satanist on any level. He's admitted to, for example.
The statue in Oklahoma and the Black Mass
She's a real
Harvard,
Satanist.
Were completely separate, and I was a little disappointed at all the press we got for the Black Mass because I feel it overshadows the more important issue of the monument.
And he's working the statue they want to put up in Oklahoma, and here's the real kick in the head. The person whose name is on the papers that it's actually enabling him to do this is the wife of a convicted sex offender.
The Satanic Church is in the back of Adam and Kelsey Daniels' home.
Look at these people.
Kelsey is the one who submitted the application to have the Satanic monument erected at the state capitol next to the one of the Ten Commandments.
Adam Daniels, in 2009, was convicted of sexual battery on a person over the age of 16.
You know what? Satan is here, and he ain't going anywhere. We have your children. We have everyone that we need to defeat you, because in the last war, there was 1/3, and we almost won. Michael Anu, I don't care what you go by now, we will defeat you.
Now, does it scare you or infuriate you that stuff is now going on in the public?
It actually infuriates me, but it also strengthens my faith and makes me want to become a militant for my church and come out and stand up for the truth and what's good and right.
I think it shocks and disappoints me more than anything else.
Now, Homeland Security, now our own government is now classifying the average Christian now as a domestic terrorist. Now, how does that make you feel that our government is now targeting us?
I do know that I've seen a lot of Democrat political figures talking about Christians as terrorists.
Well, I guess it makes me know that the people in my government are no longer representing me, and that I have to continue to know my faith and believe in my faith and trust in God that in the end he will prevail.
I expect that saying what the Bible teaches eventually is going to be illegal, and so be it. We have to keep saying it.
We live in dangerous times. I think it's horrible. I mean, what else is there to say? All sorts of organizations, disreputable organizations that have their own agendas, like the Southern Poverty Law Center and groups like that, demonize Christians who want to publicly profess their faith like we are, and who oppose all sorts of abominations against marriage, abortion.
And that's considered to them hate speech.
Yeah, it's considered hate speech. But, of course, they engage in their own hate speech by vilifying us, and there's a nice double standard that they have for themselves.
The protesters that say otherwise, unfortunately, they're just believing what they're told. I mean, not everyone has a genius IQ like me and Kanye West, so it's really hard for everyone else to figure it out. But I figured it out. I could tell you.
We were physically pushed out of there before we put a hand on anyone.
He didn't touch nobody.
These are violent gatherings.
We got thrown out of a public space.
We were
physically shoved, torn, pushed.
Physically shoved, and we didn't touch
We have genius IQs.
I bet y'all wanted a blowjob, didn't you?
So right here at the church behind us, the gentlemen who were leading this event tonight actually came in to the pulpit. I was kind of walking away and headed back to the parking garage. They came into to this church right here, went behind the pulpit, pushed people out from behind the pulpit, and started screaming aggressively, "Hail Satan," etc.
Yeah.
Just basically trying to worship Satan in this house of God right here.
That's why they got thrown out.
So I did go in and just kind of told them they needed to leave, and at that point, several gentlemen from the church behind us did escort them out. They did not go willingly. They were actually violent in the process, and they were screaming and trespassing until the police actually came about 5 minutes later, and then they changed their whole story. So that's what happened.
And as you can see, it's a great spiritual divide, as we had got comments from people from both sides of the fence. But yet, this is the question. Could this be another attempt by the mainstream media and the government to not only divide the American citizen politically and racially, but also spiritually as well? That's a question you might want to ask. And this is Dan Badandi for the InfoWars Nightly News.
Right. I fear losing Christ more than I do of this in itself, because Christ is greater than this.
Well, the Christians were very well spoken overall. There was a few kooky ones, but that's to be expected. And people get passionate. But the Satanists, when you watch the video, I'm going to have the video posted right now on Infowars.com. We'll tweet it out at Real Alex Jones. Are just hateful people. And they want our children. In fact, they say our children belong to them. And all I can say is that if one of those people, if I was in that church, put their hands on me, I'll show them how powerful Satan is. Because Satan's not going to be able to do jack squat for them when I knock their teeth out. Those people are weak, and that's why they worship Satan. They're looking for power. If they had real power, they'd hit their knees before the creator of the universe and stop being such worm-like scum. But they love their father, and they love weakness because they're failures. We'll be back. Stay with me.
Clean water at home, clean water at the office, clean water on the go. The Berkey Guy has a Berkey water filtration model for anywhere you are and one that fits any budget. Thousands of satisfied customers can't be wrong. For free shipping within the U.S., go to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Helping thousands prepare since 2005, goberkey.com.
Memorial Day is a time of remembrance of our fallen soldiers who died for our freedom. In honor of these brave men and women, AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com is offering huge discounts on several great products. AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com is veteran-owned and operated, so stop what you're doing and support a like-minded company and save a few bucks at the same time. The Memorial Day sale starts right now and ends on May 26th at midnight. Honor above all. AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com. That's AmericanSurvivalWholesale.com.
Texas is facing a killer drought. For 50 years, projects which could have protected us from this were sabotaged by Wall Street profiteering and the zero-growth anti-science green agenda. Today, these projects will not be enough. We need a revolution in real science to take the lid off human progress. I'm Keisha Rogers. When you vote for me on May 27th in the Democratic runoff election for U.S. Senate, you will be voting to put our space program back to work, to bring online thermonuclear fusion energy, and discover how the sun influences atmospheric dynamics and climate, so we can control these things for the benefit of mankind. We must stop this fracking nonsense. Shale gas is not an economic boom. It's a backward strategy for doom. Vote for me, Keisha Rogers, in the Democratic runoff on May 27th to reject Wall Street sabotage and ensure a fruitful and productive future for Texas and the nation. I'm Keisha Rogers, and I authorize this message.
Paid for by Keisha Rogers for U.S. Senate.
Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his two-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex. Well, I predicted it back when it all went down over 3 years ago. When it all started, it took him a year to oust Gaddafi. Not a good guy, but compared to the globalists, he was building up Africa. He was working with the West. The U.S. moves more forces closer to Libya as unrest grows. Reuters, the United States has increased the number of Marines and aircraft stationed in Sicily who could be called upon to evacuate Americans from the U.S. Embassy in Tripoli as unrest in Libya grows, 2 U.S. officials said Monday. And they've just basically turned the whole country over to al-Qaeda. And now there's talk of having to go in and, quote, stabilize the country. Create the crisis, offer the solution. And again, the average troops don't even know what's going on. It's just so immoral. I mentioned this earlier, but it's so incredible to me. Report says 50% of people are conspiracy theorists. You're probably one of them. That's up on Infowars.com by Elizabeth Rentner. And it's JAMA, the Journal of American Medical Association. And they said that you could be a simple-minded, that's a eugenics term, medical conspiracy kook is what they write about, if you believe the following. Now, I mean, imagine this. This is what doctors reading the American Medical Association's journal, JAMA, that if your patient says this is a bad person, and the doctor can laugh at you and feel like an authority because you believe cell phones are causing cancer and the government is refusing to act. Yes, you believe the sun came up this morning as well and other kooky things. GMO labeling used for population control. Or I had a Freudian slip. I wish we had GMO labeling. It's GMOs being used for population control. Well, that's what they're piggybacking into many of the GMOs. The government's suppressing alternative medicine. Well, that's on record they are. And that vaccinations are causing autism when they're clearly linked to it. And HIV was intentionally being sent into African-American communities. Well, it's definitely race-specific and affects non-Northern Europeans more. The virus from medical doctors we've had on, the T lymphocytes of Northern Europeans don't have the same receptor sites as what and again, I'm not a doctor. I was going off what's been broken down. It's very hard. This is in mainline medical literature. You can look it up. For what is known as Aryans to get HIV. It does happen mainly from massive anal sex or rundown immune systems and intravenous drug use, where you've been using bad drugs that have heavy metals and Grignard reagents and other things in it that already kill your T lymphocytes. And then the virus is able to move in. You get the cancers, the rest of it. And I've had so many scientists on about this, but nearly half of 49% of participants in the study conducted by JAMA said they believe with at least one of the theories. So JAMA is shaking their hands in fear. My gosh, they think cell phones are hurting them. I mean, it's been on record since the things came out. Meanwhile, it's come out now that they're going to remove most of the soap off the store shelves because 75% of it is, quote, antibacterial and has a chemical known to manipulate your hormones and reduce fertility and do a bunch of other horrible things. It's done by design through things that are ubiquitously used. Printer ink, water, plastic linings. They get us coming and going, and it's in the White House Science Czar's book, written the year I was born, 40 years ago, 1974. Eco-science. I mean, these people think you're so dumb. This stuff's all hiding in plain view. Triclosan is the name of the chemical. And don't believe them. I mean, mothers never nurse their babies. They gave their babies Triclosan at birth.
Satan is here, and he ain't going anywhere. We have your children. We have everyone that we need.
And that is that punk Satanist slowed down. Isn't he scary? Aren't you scared of him? Don't you want to stomp his head in the ground? We'll be right back, folks. I'm going to do a little bit of overdrive here. I don't want to do that. I want to love him. And you'll find he's just a nerd who's scared. I don't think he really wants to know Satan.
This is Scottish John for Infowars.com. I know that most of you here in this commercial already know about the New World Order, eugenics, and all the other issues covered here at Infowars. The question is, do your friends and family know? If not, then I want to know why. Oh, I know it's tough to talk about this with some people. They might call you names, or they just want to talk about sports or soap operas. I say, so what? There's a battle going on out there right now. The ammunition is information, and the soldiers are you. It's time to transform your game from passive listener to active participant. We from Scotland have had our skin in this game for the greater part of the last 1,000 years, and I'm still fighting. If we don't all stand up right now, we're going to lose everything. The Infowar is worldwide. Tell your friends about Infowars and let them know that Infowars doesn't print bull. It's real journalism and news backed up by documented fact. Step up and take your friends and family to Infowars.com prisonplanet.com, prisonplanet.tv, and planetinfowars.com. The truth will set them free.
Coast to